Good evening. My name is Duru. I am a DMP student at Brandman University. I am completing a clinical scholarly project on non-adherence among type 2 uh, diabetic mellitus patients and the use of um, One Touch Ultra app to help this patient manage their blood sugar for a better glycemic control to improve their quality of life and better outcome with diabetes mellitus. The stakeholders that are involved in this project is the DMP student, which is me. I am the project manager that coordinates all the activities of this group. Uh, the medical director, Dr. S, is the main link to the clinic for me, between me and the administration, and offers many clinical support and advice in this project. And then I have the diabetic manager, T. She's like the liaison person between me and the patient, and she conducts most diabetic classes and education. The IT person is Roy, who handles all the technological issues involved in this project, um, and helps me and the patient with One Touch Diabetic Ultra. The theoretical foundation used for this project is that I chose Dorothy Orem's self-care model. Self-care model was chosen because it's a model that promotes healthcare behavior through diabetic teaching to the patients to guide them, to enable them to participate actively in promotion of activities for better glycemic control. Uh, this theory, Orem self-care theory model, has three parts: self-care, self-care deficit, and theory of nursing system. Self-care actually explains that patients can take care of themselves. I chose this model because diabetes is a very chronic illness, and patients actually need a lot of self-care because a lot of activities, a lot of education that is involved in this, the patient's going to be doing it for themselves. If they're independent, they have to check their blood sugar at home. They have to know what insulin and able to interpret the sliding scale given to them and know when to take it and when not to take it. And they're supposed to record all this. So self care has a lot to do. That's why I choose this, because it's really going to help them in managing this illness. For my conceptual framework, I chose the adult learning theory. The adult learning theory actually helps one to in the course of during conception, development, and execution of a project in a way that will facilitate learning process. That is why I chose this conceptual framework. And the theory actually pays attention on the concept, on the best way that an adult can learn. This theory was developed by Malcolm Knowles in the 70s, and he theorizes that adults in their learning process differs from children in six ways. In six ways, these six ways are: first, the need to know, a sense of autonomy, the importance of life experiences and knowledge, the readiness to learn, the need for practical and applicable learning, and internal motivation. And in my paperwork, the main essay, all these six were described in great details and how they help a patient cope every day with the diabetics. The education intervention that was chosen for the patients, uh, a lot of them were involved, but the two major ones that One Touch Opera actually have a simple color indicator. This color indicator uh, will be taught to the patients, and the goal is that it makes it easier for the patient to see if their blood sugar is in or out of range. Like I talked about sliding scale, they have to give insulin by themselves, so they need to know when to do it and when not to do it. So this indicator tells them when it's high, when it's low, when to call their doctor, and other things need to do. And one another great thing about One Touch Opera is ability to sync patients' information. Sync means that as soon as everything, when they do their blood sugar, is able to move and go online, record on cloud, so that their family members or friends or whoever they want to help manage their blood sugar, and even their doctor is able to look at it and assess it. Like some of us have family members who are diabetics. Why this app is important? Like if you're a medical provider, you can look through give some advice and when to tell them to go to the doctor or what else they need to do. The implementation plan. Diabetic education will be provided in the diabetic classes with the help of Miss T. They have scheduled days with group activities for the patients. And diabetic education will also be discussed at every contact, every opportunity I have with the patient uh, during office visit, during diabetic classes, or even when I call them for their labs during phone calls, like if they have abnormal lab and something that I need to discuss. And for the stakeholders also will be informed of the progress of this project by weekly emails, phone calls, updates, intermittent meetings, either physically or through phone or video conferences, which could be weekly or monthly, as needed basis. Any way we can relay information to the patient. The implementation plan, outline plan for delivery this intervention, because diabetic education, uh, is an ongoing thing. It never stops. Patients will be getting updates every time they check their blood sugar, every time they have questions. There will be easy access on how they can, reach the provider to, get information. And so many references were used for uh, this developing this project. The first is Fox A. Gardner et al. Is a theoretical framework to support research of health service innovation. This is from Australian Health Review, and it was in 2015 study. The next one is Green HE, the use of theoretical and conceptual framework in qualitative research. And this is from the NUS researcher from the year 2014. The other one is Nouns MH et al. This was in 2005. The developer of the adult theory calls it the adult learner, the definitive classic in adult education and human resources development. And so many other uh, references were conducted, which will be in the main paper. And thank you so very much. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Have a good day.